Rough idle misfire or vacuum leak. How to tell what's actually wrong. Have you ever pulled up to a traffic light, taken your foot off the accelerator, and suddenly noticed your car shaking more than usual? Maybe the engine feels like it's struggling to stay running. The RPM needle moves up and down instead of holding steady, and the whole vehicle vibrates enough to make you wonder if something serious is about to happen. What makes the situation even more frustrating is that there are dozens of possible causes. Spend 5 minutes searching online, and you'll find people blaming everything from spark plugs and ignition coils to vacuum leaks, fuel injectors, dirty throttle bodies, bad sensors, or even complete engine failure. Before long, many car owners start replacing parts simply because someone on the internet said it fixed their vehicle. Unfortunately, that's exactly how small problems become expensive ones. Professional mechanics see this all the time. A customer arrives with a car that still runs poorly even though they've already installed new spark plugs, replaced the ignition coils, cleaned the throttle body, and maybe even bought a new mass airflow sensor. Hundreds of dollars have been spent, but the original problem is still there because no one stopped to ask the most important question. What is the engine actually trying to tell us? The truth is that a rough idle is not the problem. It's a symptom. Think of it like a headache. A headache can be caused by dehydration, stress, lack of sleep, or something much more serious. Treating every headache with the same solution doesn't make sense because the causes are different. Your engine works exactly the same way. Several completely different faults can create almost identical symptoms. The good news is that modern vehicles are surprisingly good at reporting what's wrong. Long before the engine becomes undrivable, the computer begins collecting information from dozens of sensors throughout the vehicle. It monitors airflow, fuel delivery, oxygen levels, engine temperature, throttle position, crankshaft speed, and many other operating conditions. When something starts to go wrong, the computer doesn't simply give up. Instead, it compensates. If the mixture becomes too lean, it adds fuel. If the idle speed begins to drop, it adjusts airflow. If combustion becomes unstable, it records information that can later be retrieved with even an inexpensive scan tool. In other words, your engine is constantly leaving clues. The challenge isn't getting information, it's knowing how to interpret it. Most rough idle problems fall into one of three categories. The first is an ignition misfire, where one or more cylinders fail to burn the air-fuel mixture properly. The second is a vacuum leak, where extra air enters the engine without the computer knowing about it. The third involves sensors or idle control components that provide inaccurate information or fail to regulate airflow correctly. Although these problems often feel the same from the driver's seat, they behave very differently once you begin looking at the data. Before we discuss those faults individually, it's worth understanding why engines are especially sensitive at idle. When you're driving at highway speed, the engine has plenty of momentum. Everything inside the engine is spinning quickly, making it easier to absorb small variations in combustion. At idle, however, the engine is turning much more slowly. There's very little reserve energy, so even a minor problem becomes noticeable almost immediately. Imagine a rowing team moving across a lake. If every person rows together, the boat glides smoothly through the water. But if one rower misses a stroke or falls out of rhythm, the entire boat begins to wobble. An engine behaves much the same way. Every cylinder is expected to produce its share of power at exactly the right moment. When one cylinder contributes less than the others, the imbalance spreads through the crankshaft, and you feel it as vibration in the steering wheel, dashboard, or seats. That vibration alone doesn't tell you what's wrong. This is why experienced technicians rely on evidence instead of assumptions. Rather than asking which part usually fails, they ask what the engine data is revealing. One of the most valuable pieces of information available is something called fuel trim. If you've never looked at fuel trim before, don't worry. It sounds more complicated than it really is. Fuel trim simply shows how much the engine computer is adjusting fuel delivery in an effort to maintain the correct air-fuel mixture. If the computer keeps adding fuel because the mixture is too lean, fuel trim numbers become positive. If it's removing fuel because the mixture is too rich, the numbers become negative. Those numbers can dramatically narrow your diagnosis. Instead of replacing parts at random, you're now allowing the engine to guide your investigation. The beauty of this approach is that it works regardless of whether you own a luxury vehicle or an older family sedan. Modern scan tools have become remarkably affordable, and many can display live engine data that was once available only to dealership technicians. Diagnosis isn't about finding the fastest answer. It's about finding the correct answer. Spending 10 minutes reading live data can save hundreds of dollars in unnecessary repairs and countless hours of frustration. Once you understand how the engine communicates, many problems that once seemed mysterious become surprisingly logical. Next, we'll look closely at vacuum leaks, ignition misfires, and faulty sensors. Learn how to tell them apart using scan data and real-world symptoms, and walk through a simple diagnostic process that helps you identify the real problem before spending money on parts you may never have needed. The first thing to understand about a vacuum leak is that it has nothing to do with losing vacuum in the way most people imagine. Instead, it means air is entering the engine without passing through the sensor that's supposed to measure it. Your engine computer carefully calculates how much fuel to inject based on the amount of air it believes is entering the engine. When extra air sneaks in through a cracked hose, a damaged intake gasket, or a leaking PCV line, the computer has no idea it's there. As far as it's concerned, everything is normal. The result is a lean air-fuel mixture, and that's when idle quality begins to suffer. One of the classic signs of a vacuum leak is an idle that hunts up and down instead of remaining steady. You may also hear a faint hissing sound coming from the engine bay, especially with the hood open. In many cases, the problem is most noticeable while the vehicle is stopped because vacuum is highest at idle. As engine speed increases, the effect of the leak becomes proportionally smaller, so the car may actually drive fairly well once you're moving. That's one reason vacuum leaks are often mistaken for ignition problems. A scan tool can usually provide another important clue. If both the short-term and long-term fuel trims are significantly positive at idle but improve as engine speed increases, you're likely dealing with unmetered air entering the engine. That's because the computer is constantly adding extra fuel in an attempt to compensate for the lean condition. This pattern is one of the strongest indicators of a vacuum leak and is far more reliable than simply guessing based on symptoms. Finding the leak isn't always difficult. Start with a careful visual inspection. Rubber vacuum hoses become brittle over time, especially in older vehicles exposed to years of engine heat. Small cracks may not seem significant, but they can allow enough air into the intake system to upset idle quality. Pay close attention to the PCV hoses, brake booster hose, intake ducting, and any rubber connectors around the throttle body and intake manifold. Sometimes the fault is as simple as a hose that has worked loose from its fitting. Professional workshops often use a smoke machine because it's one of the quickest and most reliable ways to locate leaks. The machine fills the intake system with harmless smoke, making even tiny leaks visible as smoke escapes. Although not everyone has access to a smoke tester, many repair shops can perform the test quickly and for far less than the cost of replacing unnecessary parts. Now let's compare that with a misfire. While a vacuum leak affects the air-fuel mixture, a misfire occurs when combustion fails inside one or more cylinders. The cylinder may receive the correct mixture, but if the spark is weak, fuel delivery is interrupted, or compression is insufficient, combustion won't occur properly. Instead of producing power, that cylinder contributes very little, causing the engine to shake. A misfire usually feels different from a vacuum leak. Rather than a constantly changing idle speed, the vibration often follows a rhythmic pattern. You can sometimes feel it through the steering wheel, the driver's seat, or even the gear selector. Under acceleration, the hesitation becomes more obvious because the engine is being asked to produce more power. If the misfire becomes severe enough, the check engine light may begin flashing. That flashing light isn't just a warning, it's telling you that unburned fuel is entering the exhaust system and can quickly overheat the catalytic converter. Continuing to drive under those conditions can transform a relatively inexpensive repair into one costing thousands of dollars. Fault codes can also point you in the right direction. Codes beginning with P0300 indicate random or multiple cylinder misfires, while P0301 through P0308 identify specific cylinders. A code for cylinder 3, for example, immediately narrows the investigation to the components serving that cylinder. One of the simplest confirmation tests is swapping the ignition coil with another cylinder. If the misfire follows the coil, you've found the culprit. If it stays on the same cylinder, the problem may involve the spark plug, fuel injector, wiring, compression, or even a mechanical issue inside the engine. It's important to remember that not every misfire is caused by worn ignition parts. Modern direct injection engines can develop carbon deposits on the intake valves, reducing airflow and affecting combustion. Low fuel pressure, leaking injectors, timing problems, burnt valves, or poor compression can all create similar symptoms. That's why replacing spark plugs simply because the engine shakes doesn't always solve the problem. The third category involves sensors and idle control components. These faults can be especially deceptive because they often imitate both vacuum leaks and misfires. A dirty mass airflow sensor, for example, may underreport the amount of air entering the engine. The computer responds by delivering less fuel than necessary, creating a lean condition that closely resembles a vacuum leak. Likewise, a throttle body coated with carbon deposits may struggle to regulate airflow accurately at idle, causing unstable RPM even though nothing is mechanically broken. Fortunately, these components are often easy to inspect before replacing them. Cleaning a mass airflow sensor with the proper cleaner, not brake cleaner or carburetor cleaner, can restore accurate readings if contamination is the problem. A dirty throttle body may simply require careful cleaning to remove carbon buildup around the throttle plate. These are relatively inexpensive maintenance tasks that should always be considered before purchasing replacement components. When diagnosing any rough idle, resist the temptation to jump straight to the most common repair. Instead, follow a logical sequence. Read the fault codes, examine the live fuel trim data, perform a careful visual inspection, check for vacuum leaks, evaluate ignition performance, test components before replacing them whenever possible. Every step should either confirm or eliminate a possible cause. That's how professional technicians avoid unnecessary repairs, and it's a method that works whether you're maintaining your own vehicle or simply trying to understand what your mechanic is telling you. The biggest lesson is this: engines don't usually fail without leaving evidence. They communicate through sensor data, fault codes, fuel trims, sounds, and changes in performance. When you learn to read those clues instead of relying on guesswork, diagnosis becomes far more straightforward. You'll spend less money replacing parts that were never faulty, gain confidence in understanding how your vehicle operates, and make better decisions whenever a problem appears. The next time your engine begins to shake at a traffic light, don't immediately assume the worst or start filling an online shopping cart with new components. Slow down, gather the evidence, and let the data guide you. In most cases, the engine has already been telling you exactly what's wrong. You simply need to know how to listen. If this helped you understand the difference between a rough idle caused by a vacuum leak, a misfire, and a sensor issue, hit that like button and share this with someone who might be one bad diagnosis away from wasting hundreds of dollars on unnecessary parts. In the next video, we are tackling the most frightening sound an engine can make, knocking, and how to tell the difference between a minor timing chain rattle and the rod knock that means the engine is about to fail. Because just like this, it is another diagnosis where guessing leads to the wrong repair.